you teach a lesson, do you figure out what you're going to do? And he's like, what? And I'm like, well, for example, like you taught this lesson this morning. How far in advance did you plan that out? And he literally says to me, I planned that out on the drive to work. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I planned it out on the drive to work. I'm like, how do you even do that? And he's like, I don't know. And it took me a long time to figure it out. It took me like 5 or 6 years, but that's what he kind of told me. He says, it takes you a while to figure out, but eventually you get there. So now what I was explaining to the student teacher this morning was this. I just taught a lesson in first period. I gave a quizzes as a review at the beginning of class, and the quizzes did not go well. They did not go well. I was expecting them to get like 70, 80%. They got 50% on the quizzes. So I had to call an audible. And I literally had to make up an hour lesson on the spot just to review that information with them. Had to. And I'm saying, like, as a student teacher, like, you learn all this stuff in college to become a teacher. You learn all this techniques and pedagogy and all this other stuff. But the best training that you can possibly have to be a teacher is to actually be in the trenches. Anyway, last class, I gave you a little bit of a challenge at the end to create your own little cipher using a keyword. And I told you to email me the cipher, but not the keyword. Don't give me the keyword. Here was the game that I kind of played with myself, and I kind of want to walk you through this because this is going to inform what we're going to do today. What I did was I took your cipher, knowing the little tiny bit of information, I think, therefore I am, and I tried to extrapolate what your keyword was. Now, for some of you, it's super easy. He told me what his keyword was. You remember? Yeah. But anyway, shut up. I can still figure it out. Some of you I was able to figure out very easy. Some of you were a little bit more difficult. There was one that I got that, I think it was done incorrectly. It was. But I'll show you why when I go over it. Because here's the goal for today. The goal for today is I am going to be giving you a very big cryptogram. I'm going to be giving you a very big cryptogram. And I'm going to be giving you some strategies as to how to handle said cryptogram. By the way, here, I won't give it to you just yet, but here is the cryptogram that we are going to decipher today. Yeah. But once you know the strategies, you'll know it's not that bad. Trust me. Trust me. For those of you in the chat, I already see some people have already given me some hellos and hi there's and things of that nature. Please, if you haven't done so, please do so. So what I'd like to do, first, I want to show you how I figured out certain ciphers. So, for example, let me bring this one over. Come on. If you would actually load properly. Paste. There we go. And I'll make that bigger so you all can see it. Perfect. And I'll create a I think therefore I am. Here we go. And I'll bring this over. Okay. Boop. It's too big. I think it's too big. All right, fine. We'll make it 28. Nope. Oh, duh. No, I can make it 30 because Excel can do this thing, right? Yeah, there we go. Huzzah. Okay. So this was one cipher that somebody sent me the other day. And my entire goal of looking at your ciphers was to determine what is the key word and what logical progression can I make when figuring out the key word. So what I did initially was I tried to set up a cipher alphabet using the letters that I gave you. I think, therefore I am. But I purposefully chose that phrase because it has, number one, a lot of repeating letters. It doesn't give you a lot of the common ones. Let's just see what happens. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Oh, the alphabet. So what I did initially was I'm like, okay, I was ciphered to become an X, T was ciphered to become an L, H was ciphered, where is the H? H was ciphered to become a W. And now look at that right there. Look at the W and the X in the alphabet. T, U, V, W, X. Now I'm beginning to see something. Let's see if I can do those other letters. I was X, I got that. N was D, K was Z. Oh, it's capital. Okay. Come on, letter. You know you're not sleeping. There we go. T was L, already got that. H was W, already got that. E was T. R was J. E already got that. F was U. O was F. E was T, already got that. I was X, already got that. A was H. And M was C. Okay. So now I'm going to take you through my thought process because I want to actually make the correction to the one that had the mistake in it. But the entire idea is now I have to figure out what this 5-letter word is based on, I think therefore I am was ciphered into this. Now I got to work backwards. Here's the plain alphabet. Here's the cipher alphabet. Okay, and I can kind of see certain patterns emerging because at the end of the 5-letter keyword, it goes to U, which is what I told you to do because you continue with the alphabet after that last letter. T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. All of those letters appear to be there. Great. All of those letters appear to be there. And it makes logical sense that I can now fill those in. Yeah, hold on. T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. But then the next letter should either be, it should be A, or it could be B. Because one of those letters was used in the keyword. I'm not entirely certain which one it is just yet. So let me continue with the rest of the alphabet and see if I can't make any guesses here. Let's say C, D, F. Oh, the E. E is missing. E has to be one of these 3 letters because I told you no repeats. Now, mind you, for harder codes, of course, there could be repeats, but we'll deal with that in the future. But E is not there. E, F, G, H, I. One of those letters is missing. Okay. G, H, I, J, K, L, K, L. Okay, let's see if we could figure out the rest of this. L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. No, one of those letters is missing as well. So this is the game that I played with myself. I decided I was going to take all of this information and I was going to figure out what your keyword was. And I feel pretty confident, and I'm going to ask in a little bit because this is Shirley in the chat. This is her code. I wanted to see if I was correct. But after a little bit of educated guessing, I'm going to ask you if I was correct. Was your keyword the word heart? And I'll give her a moment to kind of answer. Because if I can correctly guess the keyword based on some loose clues, some very basic clues, she said, yes, I was correct. Heck yeah. No clapping. But if I can figure out what the keyword is based on some loose clues, then I can crack any code she makes with this cipher. I can crack anything. Here's an interesting story. During World War I, the Germans had a code that they felt was unbreakable. They felt it was unbreakable. And a lot of these codes are being posted in telegrams and put over like, like wires and stuff like that. Like they used to pass messages to like wire transmissions or whatever, or something like that. Like they'd tap it out or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, they thought it was unbreakable. And so there was a code that came across British intelligence that they eventually cracked, and they did it. And they found out that Germany wanted to team up with Mexico during World War I. The U.S. was not in the war just yet. The U.S. was not in the war just yet. But Germany had this plan where they were going to attack the U.S. from the east, Mexico would attack from the south, and Japan would attack from the west. Can you imagine? During World War I, which we didn't get into until later in the game, but the war never touched U.S. soil, or the contiguous United States, I should say. But can you imagine the U.S. getting attacked from 3 separate directions all at once? And how devastating that would have been? But they got this information, but the British intelligence is like, we can't let them know we broke the code yet. Because if we stop this plan from happening, they'll know we broke the code and they'll change their code. So they had to figure out a way to find out what that plan was without giving the Germans the heads up. Oh crap, they broke our code. They couldn't. They figured it out. They actually had a British intelligence officer stationed in Mexico at the time, and they gave that British intelligence officer the heads up to look for certain key pieces of information, and the intelligence officer accidentally came across that information. I say accidentally because he was looking for it, and as a result, the plan fell apart. And the Germans, for the next 20 years, the Germans thought it was the Mexicans who screwed up. This is a true story. If you break someone's code and they're going to continue using that code, don't let them know that you broke that code. But I'm telling you because this is just for fun. This is kind of the game. This is the lesson for today. Let's try another one. See if I got this one right. I'm not going to do all of them. I apologize. But let me see here. Okay, this one I wasn't as sure about. Paste that one in here. There we go. Centerize it. Come on. And erase this. Okay. So I think T, H, I already got the I, N was V, K was R, T was C, I already got that, H was O, I already got that, E was K. This one I did have a bit of trouble with. I actually went over, it was funny, I went over on a lunch break over to Liston's classroom, and he and I sat down with this on his board and we're trying to figure it out for a little bit. Because sometimes it's not very obvious. And if you're wrong, then, I don't know. I don't want to be wrong. EK. I also have a couple other, here we go, T and U. There we go. Let me flip this over, duplicate. Here's the code. What is with this letter here? Should have been a Z there. What is going on there? What is it doing that for? Y'all see that? Look, it's like halfway over there.
Oh wait, it says you have 2 on the E.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Nope. Whatever. We'll figure this out. Anyway. See, the intent is when you make a code, when you make a cipher, you are trying to make it in such a way where no one can crack it. That is the entire intention of code making. The entire history of cryptology is built between people making codes and people breaking codes. I got to kind of come up with a better way to hide my code. I got to come up with a better way to break your code. It's an arms race. That's what this whole thing is. So I was trying to figure out what this word could be. So I went through a similar process, knowing that it was a monoalphabetic substitution cipher with a key word, whatever that key word was. So let's see, JKLMN. So I didn't know which one it was there. OPQRST. I didn't know which one it was there. UVWXYZ. And then there was like an AB here, and I wasn't sure which letters to use. AB, okay, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Where's my J? Oh no, unless another letter was missing. Yeah. So all of these, there was one letter missing from there, one letter used in the key. One of these letters was used in the key. One of these letters was used in the key, and one of these letters was used in the key.
Jada Garcia, please report to guidance. Jada Garcia.
Wait, who's hold on, I gotta figure I forgot the name I had with this. But, come on, you. Giordano? Yeah. This is yours. You suck. No. No, because the way that it was set up was in such a way where it's like, okay, it could be this word, it could be this word, it could be this word. So ultimately, I made an educated guess, and I thought that the word was this. Yes! I was correct. But that's the general idea. I don't know if I'm correct. What would make it easier for me to break this code? Maybe. Say again? Maybe. You know what would make it easier, though, in the grand scheme? Having more code. Having more code. If I had more code, and I was actually able to do a proper letter frequency analysis, it would give me a huge head start. See, the thing is, this code is so short. I think, therefore I am. I did that on purpose. It's so short that I can't really do a frequency analysis. Liston told me an example this morning where he gave his students a code and they went through frequency analysis, but he didn't tell them that he used a phrase that had a lot of Z's in it. I'm sorry, how many times during the day do you remember using a word with the letter Z in it? Now you've used it once today. Exactly. Z is not a common letter. But he did that on purpose just to kind of mess with them, because frequency analysis, yes, in theory, it can work, but you need more code. See, the thing is, I just had how many letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I only had 18 letters to work with. And a lot of them were repeats. So this is just shooting in the dark here. Now, I do want to put yours up there only because I want to figure out what went wrong with it, not to kind of be like, you know. So let's do that, and then we're gonna work on this big cryptogram that I have for you. So let me flip this one back. Let's see here. There it is. So this was the code that you gave me. Put it up to 30. There we go. Make it centered. That same issue is happening with the letters. Whatever. Anyway. And here, I'll flip this over so you can see what I'm doing here. There we go. Let's see. I was a D. And then T was a G. And then H was a B. And then I was a D again. I already got that. N was a W. K was a T. Boom. T was a G. Already got that. H was a B. Already got that. E was a P. R was an E. And then F was a Q. Q. There we go. O was an X. R was an E. I was a D. A was a C. And M was a V. So this is the code that he gave me. And I was trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, hold on. T, U, V, W, X. Well, this could be like Y, Z, A, B, C, D. What? Then E, F. Oh, yeah, it had to be an F. G, could be H, I, J, K, L, M. But no, there are some letters missing, so maybe it's not all those. And then, but my main issue came in right here. I was like, okay, this is the end of the letter right here, end of the word. Then went Q, which is like, okay, Q, and then it should be. How did the B and D pop up? And then it went back to TU. I was like, I was stuck.
I'm stuck.
What was your word?
Well, I think I did it wrong.
Yes,
Very much so.
but I just want to know what your word was.
It's not. It doesn't end with P. I don't know what word we're talking
What was your word?
about. Share.
Okay.
Yeah, I messed up. I don't know where though.
Okay. So if you did do chair, then it would have been the next bunch of letters would have been element of PQRS, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So I'm trying to figure out here. And then, well, it would be A, B, C. Nope, can't do C. D, E, F, G, can't do H, can't do I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. Yeah, that should have been your code. Or that should have been your cipher alphabet is what I'm saying. That's why I couldn't figure it out because there was like, But if I can't figure it out, you knowing that it's monoalphabetic, that means that no one else can figure it out either.
I don't know. So I messed up in a good way.
Well, no. You know why it's not a good way? Because what's the purpose of encrypting your message? You want to send it to somebody else that you can't get to, that you can't tell them what the message is directly. So if someone else got this message and knew the key word of chair, it wasn't encrypted properly. So they would never be able to decipher it, thus never fulfilling the purpose of you wanting to get them that message. Yeah. So that's part of the problem. Right. That's a country of one. Like, I'm going to pass a message to myself. I know.
You wouldn't even know.
I wouldn't even know. I know, right?
You wouldn't even know.
No, but that's okay. That's why I wanted to kind of figure it out, just because I wanted to see what went wrong. But we'll get the practice with that. No worries. Now, just for the sake of argument, the other codes that I figured out, Chris, I was able to figure out it was Tiger even without you telling me it was Tiger.
Okay.
So, where's Edgar? Was your word words? Yeah! That took me a while. It took me such a while to figure that out. I was just like, it was bugging me so much. I'm just like, what is the word? Because I was thinking it was like woods, but I'm like, no, he wasn't allowed to repeat letters. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And then I literally I was figuring this out listed and I called them up and it was like, dude, it was words. Yes. And you picked Quake. Yes. Nailed that one. Haha. Oh, and okay, you picked chair, but at one point I guessed that maybe you picked champ. I don't know. So at least I did get the CHA part correct. But again, that everything kind of threw me. You can see right here where I highlighted this in red because I was trying to figure out what it was. But that's fun. I love this kind of game. So, frequency letter analysis. What I'm doing right now is I'm passing out the code that we're going to be working on today. For those of you in the live chat, I am going to post the PDF of this in a few minutes. But this is our intent for today. I want to walk you through. There's going to be 3 in here. Oh, no, it was my last. I have another one. Hold on. I have another one. There we go. I knew I had extra copies here. There we go. Now I put 3 in there. Oh no, my glasses. But I'm also going to be giving you guys another piece of paper, which I'll explain in a moment. There we go. So take a look at what you got. And I'm going to go post the PDF of this to the Google Classroom so that you guys can have what everyone else is looking at. Let's see here. There it is. No, it's some Bible story. Let's see, post that there. Move in there. Here we go. I'm in the classroom, Cryptology. Add from my Google Drive. Come on. There it is. And let me just double check. Yes, perfect. And PDF for today. There we go. Post. So for those of you in the live stream, I just posted the PDF of what we're working on today. And what we're working on today is this weird looking cryptogram. And the percentage paper that I gave you, just so you know, I did a letter analysis of this particular code. I did a frequency analysis, which means that, I'll put that there for now, which means that within this code, the letter A shows up 3% of the time, the letter B shows up 7% of the time, etc. within the letters of this particular code right here. This is a mono-alphabetic substitution cipher. It did not use a keyword. It did not use a keyword. So unfortunately, we can't work with a keyword here. But they did have a cipher alphabet, one letter for one letter. Meaning you could potentially, if you were to crack this, write out the alphabet in order in plain text and be able to create the cipher alphabet underneath of it in order to basically figure out every single word in this paragraph. This is a lot of information. It's a lot of stuff. But I want to give you some strategies for cracking said code. First strategy I can give you is the information that I gave you last class. I gave you a list of the most common letters in the English language. So just for the sake of argument, I don't have my notes on me. You guys have your notes on you, hopefully. But I don't want all of them, but give me like the top 8 or so. What are the most common letters in the English language? I'm going to write this under the word plain for plain text. E. Yep. Yep. S. O. I. A couple more. R. N. Sure. Let's stop there. I mean, literally, we could write out the whole thing in order if we wanted to, but let's just stick with the top 8 for now. So now those letters are the most common. It's not a guarantee that you're going to go one for one. For example, on this paper, which is the second page on the PDF, it says that C, S, and V, and H are the most common letters in this cipher code. They're not saying it goes one for one. Okay, the first one has to be E and the second one has to be T. It's not saying that. It's just giving you an idea that the most common letters in this cipher code could be some combination of these letters in the plain text. There are certain strategies, again, that we can take into account. Certain 3-letter words that we can take into account. What are some common 3-letter words? The, was, and. Yeah, I mean, we can keep going from there. I was going to say the and. I mean, like, was, him, her, for, I don't know. Could be anything. Now, two-letter words are a little trickier. Two-letter words are a little trickier because there is a plethora of two-letter words. That's why I started with three-letter words. What about one-letter words? I and A. I mean, if you're talking like Old English, you could be like, oh, but like, that's more Italian. It could be I and A. It's typically a one-letter word. The benefit that you have is that there are spaces here. If there were no spaces here, you guys would be screwed. I mean, for now. Then you would really have to focus in on some frequency analysis. You got to learn to crawl before you run. But I left the spaces in there, I mean, for that simple reason that it's like, hey, we're going to try and figure this thing out. And what you're going to find as you analyze this piece of paper, what you're going to find is that if some light is shed and some words start to pop up that make sense in connection with each other, all of a sudden, it's going to be like, whoa, it's like this big old secret that you've discovered. So let's analyze some of the, not the letters, because I've already analyzed the letters for you, but let's analyze some of the words that tend to repeat, or some of the letter pairs that tend to show up. What do you notice? Say again? CT. Okay, so you got CT popping up as these like two-letter words here. Again, oh, a lot, like here and here. Absolutely. But like I said, two-letter words are like in, and, am, is, it, if, of, or, up, us. Like they're very difficult to kind of just guess right off the bat. Ooh. Right on top of each other. You got a QWQ right there. Oh, hold on, one second. I'll go to BCH in a moment. Let's talk about QWQ, though. Assuming that it's a monoalphabetic cipher, which it is, that QWQ is a word that begins and ends with the same letter. So just something to keep in mind. A three-letter word that begins and ends with the same letter. Tot. No, it's probably not tot. No. But it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. What was the other one that you said? BCH. BCH. Okay, where's the other BCHs then? Oh, right below it. Yeah, another one right there. On lines 2, 3, VWG. Oh, yeah, right there and there. And the bottom. Oh, and she's telling me in the thing, in the chat, like a bunch of things that pop up as well. Yeah, look at the first two words of the whole thing. The first two words of the whole thing. Yeah, like what the heck? What kind of statement or paragraph starts with the same word twice in a row? That's 4 letters. The entire idea of code breaking, you need to figure out where you can get a foothold. Where can you get a foothold? Now, yeah, we can name all of the 3-letter pairs all day long, but there is one specific foothold. Actually, no, there's 2, but I'm going to start with the first one. There's one specific foothold that you can really sink your teeth into, that you can really dig your foot into and step up on. Do you know what it is? It's one letter. It's the letter K. It is the letter K. See, because K, that letter K, that singular letter K, which actually pops up a few times here, most likely is either the word A or the word I. But now, compare this letter K with some of the 3-letter words that you see in this cipher. There's a connection that I want you to make here. Compare the letter K with some of the 3-letter words that you see in this thing? What do you notice? There are certain assumptions that we can try, but it's not a guarantee that it will work unless it produces some concrete results. By the way, just for the sake of argument, you just reminded me, if you're not using a pencil, I would suggest using a pencil because you may have to erase some ideas. Anyway. Look where I'm pointing. You see this letter K right here? Look at this word, KBQ, a 3-letter word. This K could either be an I or an A. This 3-letter word starts with the same letter. Could be an I or an A. Do you know that many 3-letter words that start with I? Ion. Yeah, there would most likely be like an apostrophe possibly, but that actually is a good point though, because there is no punctuation in here. Yeah, could be its as well. But more likely than not, this is a possible foothold. Possible foothold. The possible foothold is the idea that KBQ and K, it could be a 3-letter word that starts with A, and this could be A. That's the foothold that I want us all to start with. There's a second one I'm going to give you in a minute. And there's another KBQ right there as well. Well, you said K is what?
KZZ.
Oh, KZZ. Where's that? Oh, KZZ, yeah. If that's an A, then possibly this could be like the word add, or more likely, the word all. Possible. We won't know for sure unless we actually, again, make some groundwork. So let me write in some of those things just for the sake of argument. If this is an A, and this is an A, and if this is an all, like we suspect it will be, because of that ZZ situation going on, you could theoretically, make the assumption because KBQ pops up multiple times throughout this thing. KBQ is here, KBQ is here, KBQ is here. It's likely that that could be the word and. It could be. So I put it here just for like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe I can try to figure out what's kind of going on with that thing. And you can fill in all of the ands and all of the A's if you get the chance. But let me give you another foothold. Something that you should notice. There is another 3-letter word up here. It is the 3-letter word HVS. HVS. Now, VS does pop up a lot, but more specifically, I want you to focus on that HVS. There's an HVS right here, or more specifically, there's an HV. There's an HV here, an HV here, an HV here. This HVS, this HV, pops up so many stinking times throughout the course of this cipher. HV. I have a few 3-letter words that start with HV. I have a bunch of other words that start with HV. TH. It's a good assumption that it could be TH. In fact, if it's TH, then that's probably the word the. And now you have more of a foothold right here because this phrasing, based on your assumptions, is and the something. Now we're on to something. This is the general idea behind looking at the frequency of letter pairs and words throughout the course of this thing. Now, of course, the frequency analysis is one thing. We can compare it to the frequency analysis of the plain text. But we can begin filling in some stuff. So, what I would like you to do is I would like you to kind of go through this cipher And I want you to start filling in some words. Now, I'm going to write this up top here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, I ran out of room, W, X, Y, and Z. Because now, based on the assumptions that we are making, we are assuming that the letter A has been ciphered to K, the letter N has been ciphered to B, the letter D has been ciphered to Q. Yeah. The letter H. Oh no, N was B. My bad. N was B. There we go. H was V. There we go. E was S. And then we're suspecting, total suspicion, that the L was Z. Now look at what's written in green so far. With a few key exceptions, look what I wrote in green. With a few key exceptions, does it appear what I wrote in green is somewhat in alphabetical order? We're on the right track. We're on the right track. Take a few minutes, go through this cipher, fill in what you can, and see if you can't make a few connections here. Yes, Sky, I want to address that real quick. The letter E on this piece of paper, yes, shows up 0% of the time. That means that in our cipher alphabet, the letter E doesn't really show up all too often. But in the plain text alphabet, the letter E does show up a lot. What I'm trying to guess is that the letter E is probably in the cipher, the letter S. And if you look at the letter S, according to this frequency analysis, S shows up more like 10% of the time, which is one of the most frequent letters. Oh, let me fill in some of the other ones that we got here. Ones that I definitely know. This is a TH. This is a THE. Now, here's a tricky part right here. This could be the word them, or it could be the word they, or it could be the word then. Could be anything right there. Good?
Something I'm trying to think of is like for three-letter word QWQ, if D is Q, and they go T will confirm. The only thing the only word I think it was dad, but A's are used for dad.
Okay, that's a very good point. It can't be dad, simply because we believe that A was transferred to K. Could be did or dud. Probably not dod. It's probably a U or an I, you know. Oh, I got the word he. He something. Oh, I know that says he. Oh, check this out. Okay, again, all I'm doing right now is just kind of filling in some of the letters that I'm guessing could be it. Check this out. He blank A. But we know that V and K are H and A. He could be has A. It's a D. Oh, do we already know that? Oh, snap. He had a something. So now here's the thing. Based on the letters that we just kind of threw out there, I found a, oh no, there goes the thing. I found out a he had a mer. Light is beginning to shine. Getting word couplets like that or word phrases like that is a good indicator that you are on the right track. Figuring out various pieces of that cipher alphabet means you're on the right track. The whole idea of cracking this code using frequency analysis is just gaining that little bit of a foothold. Now check this out. You were talking about the double D thing, the D in the beginning and the D in the end. Check this out. The VS in front of it was a he. He, and we suspect it can't be dad because we already used the A, but it could be he dud, he did. We can suspect that it's did. These are the steps we can take. Anybody figure out a word that we haven't gotten up here yet?
I was like close to the word before did. I had THEAT. I had nothing.
THE ATE. So it's like feet with an E at the end. Do you know what it is? Theater. It's the word theater. And because it's the word theater, oh snap, where's my green marker? Because it's the word theater, we can suspect that this R was an F in the cipher. Hold on one second. I know some of you guys had your hands up. Let me kind of fill this stuff in. And we figured out, and the theater did. Oh, interesting. So hold on. There's another one right there. I became a W right here. What'd you get? Someone else had their hand up. I forgot who it was before. Was it the word that he was talking about?
Oh, no. The last word in the first row.
Yeah. Thought. What's your rationale there?
Well, the words that end with start with TH and
Not a lot. That's what I'm saying. Could be the word thought. It is the word thought, by the way, just for the sake of argument. THOUG. Yeah, because GHT is not a very common ending, like tight and light and thought and things of that nature. But since it is TH and ending with that HT, it's got to be thought. And that actually does pop up in a few other places. It actually pops up down here. And check this out. He thought. Ah! You guys ever see A Christmas Story? Yeah? Do you know the part in the movie where he's in the bathroom trying to break the code? And it tells him to drink more Ovaltine? No, it's a famous scene. Okay. We'll have to watch that scene next time. Here's a piece of information that I want to point out to you. Notice my alphabet that I wrote at the top of the board. And notice the order of some of these letters. As I talked about, it seems it appears to be in alphabetical order. Look what we got here. Z, probably an A, B, C, D, E. Now, these letters I may not be able to work perfectly because this alphabet is not perfect. This alphabet is not perfect. For example, what's wrong here? With what's written in green, what's wrong here? Yeah, the R's not there. Now, was that our mistake or is that they just changed it? Maybe they changed it. I'm pretty confident on these two letters. Pretty confident. But with the sum of the breaks here, we might be able to make certain assumptions. We might be able to make certain assumptions.
I'm trying to make an assumption for it's on the fourth row. It's L, S, Z.
Yes.
If Z is supposed to be L, and then S is E.
Could be yell, tell, sell, bell.
Well, H is already T.
Oh, snap. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it can't be H and T. Huh.
Wait. Oh, what about L? Oh, we already got it.
Say again? I gotcha. What's going to be a little confusing is this, and this is why I'm trying to color code stuff up here. What I have written in orange is the plain text, and I tried to write in green the ciphertext, simply because I wanted to distinguish the two. So it's that L, we're pretty confident goes to Z, but I'm not really sure what L would be in the cipher, you know. J, K, L. I mean, it could be here, but I mean, it could be. You said Bell, but I'm a little concerned because of that R missing, you know, especially with it happening in this area. In fact, like, look, the K and the Q, K and Q, they have a lot of letters between them. Like J, L, M, N, O, P. There should be 5 letters between them, but there's only 2 spots. So, oof, I'm a little concerned there. And the theater did something. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, snap. Check this out. Do you guys see where it says, and the theater did? And the theater did. We know it's an N and a T. It makes sense that it would be not, right? Which makes sense with the cipher alphabet up here, that this O should turn into a C. Oh, snap. What do you got?
There's a lowered hour of
B, C, D, C. Oh, bottom down here? Right here. Okay, so hold on. So we know that this has got to be O, and we know that this has got to be R, and this has got to be H. Yeah. So then this has got to be a U right here, which means that this U has got to be an I. Our blank the C, we already know both those letters, don't we? Yeah, we do. Wait, no, we don't. We know that that's an O. Our blank the, probably of. You know, obviously this thing is in English. Our or the doesn't really make much sense, but our of the does. So that F should be T. You don't think A is K? No, but here's the thing now. Distinguish between this. There's a direction between plain versus cipher and cipher versus plain. What's written here for THE blank that A is the cipher. And we want to put it back into an orange letter. This K is the cipher. It's possible that that is a them for the simple reason of, well, it makes sense that this would be A. So it does matter the direction that you kind of go with this thing. Ah. If you happen to remember the video that I assigned you guys on cryptos, do you remember approximately how long that lady has been working to solve cryptos? About 20 years. And she probably hasn't made that much progress. Why does she do that to herself? Why would somebody put themselves through all of this pain and anguish to decipher something, not make much progress, and keep going? It seems pretty tedious to try and figure out exactly what the heck is going on with this particular cipher. It seems pretty tedious to spend all this time just to crack what's going on here. But people, they love puzzles.
So M is A and S is B. What is an MS?
Where are you? Oh, MS right here? Well, again, you're mixing up a couple things. M, this is the cipher. MS, notice I wrote them in green. Okay, notice I wrote them in green. I'm trying to color code here. Green is the cipher. What's written in orange is the deciphered. That M, we don't know what letter it is yet. Because if you notice right here, M to A is plain to cipher. But this other M, I'm not exactly sure what it could be. Go ahead.
About HVSA.
H.
On the right side.
This one.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would be them.
Pretty certain. I'm pretty certain it is. What's your rationale? Oh, yeah, right. We already wrote it out there. I mean, we were guessing that, yes. Here's what I want you guys to do. Here's what I want you guys to do, because we're running out of time. I didn't expect that we would crack this whole thing. I'm going to put an assignment on Google Classroom. Finish this thing up. Finish this thing up for Tuesday. You got plenty of time. You got plenty of clues. You got plenty of directions you can go. I'm going to sign off on the live stream because I got my next class coming in. But I got to tell you, I am so excited to do this stuff. I haven't even gotten to the Beale cipher. Does anyone know anything about the Beale cipher and hidden treasure and a 200-year mystery? I'm so excited.
The cipher I knew really anything about before I got this class was the Enigma.
The Enigma machine?
Yeah.
Yeah.